around the Bear Asseltine and Ron Finn. The Jets have McElwain out there between Phil Sykes and Paul McDermott. It's Creighton, Sutter, and Lemieux, who's coming off his best game as a Blackhawk, on the ice for Chicago. Here's the draw to Ellett deep in his own end. Rolls it up the boards, McDermott. He got tied up by Lemieux, who steals in front of Creighton in traffic. Couldn't find it. Lemieux now has it back. Lemieux cleared it in behind the Jet goal. Sutter after it there. He tries to jam it loose. Centered one, but it deflects to Sykes. And the Jets come away. Dave McElwain in on Conroy, who takes him off the puck beautifully, allowing Manson to gather it in. Dave Manson motors back to center ice and dumps it into the Jet zone as the Hawks head for a quick change. Randy Carlyle back for Winnipeg. He tries to get away from Thomas and then clears it to center. Troy Murray, who was a questionable player tonight, was coming off a groin pull, but he's in there. Murray got stopped at the Jet line. Newman now for Winnipeg. Dumps it into the Blackhawk zone. Taken by Dirk Graham. Graham cleared it along the far side, held in by Newman, and he shoots one, missing the net. And Troy Murray starts the Hawks back. Cleared it too far for Thomas, and the Jets power chuck the other way for Elenick. He was stopped by Keith Brown nicely. And now the puck loose at center ice. They battle away on the far side for it. Elenick trying to kick it loose. He did to Carlisle. And then the Hawks' Trent Yoni takes it back, flipping it into the Winnipeg zone. Mo Mantha, well-traveled veteran defenseman, clearing it out to center ice. Howard Chuck took a bump from Yanni, who took him off the play. And Mantha back into his own end. Mo Mantha cleared it to the right wing boards. Pazlowski had difficulty with a bouncing puck. And now the Jets clear it into the Blackhawk zone. Going back is Roenick, and he'll put the touch on it for an icing call against Winnipeg. Well, Dale, not to overlook people like Mike Milbury and Al Arbor, but we have two very strong Coach of the Year candidates in this game tonight.
Well, Murdoch's done a job with this team. No one expected him even to challenge for the playoffs. They thought Vancouver would be in the spot in L.A., and Edmonton, Calgary was already preset, but great job by Murdoch, 55 points. The Jets and Keenan has done a tremendous job with the Blackhawks, 62 points coming into this game and challenging for first place overall in the league.
Mike Hudson winning a draw right to Dave Manson. He fired one on target, in a sense, able to make the save and cover. I wonder if Dave Manson, noticing that the linesmen are two of the people he's had trouble with, Asseltine and Foyt, he'll have to be careful about minding his manners tonight.
Well, I think players and officials forget that when in the heat of the battle, emotions get running wild. Sometimes you can't control yourself, and I'm sure Asseltine and Finn will not hold any grudges, and neither will Manson. They shouldn't, at least.
Well, that's what is and what should be sometimes is not always the same thing. Here's the play into the Hog zone, and Hudson digs it out of the traffic, clearing to Van Dorp at center ice. Van Dorp got tied up with Taglianetti into the Jet zone. Mantha comes across to take it away. And now the Jets clear it to center ice. Manson bangs it back in there. Taken by Mark Kumpel. He cleared it to center. Here's Mantha to the Hawk line. A long shot well wide of the target. And Lemieux takes over for the Blackhawks. Sends it out to center ice. Now Ellett back over the Hawk line. Nice poke check by Keith Brown to take it off his stick. Jets hold it in, though. Here's Fenton right up the slot. Shoots one, deflects wide. Lemieux. Good reaction by Jocelyn Lemieux to get there and deflect that Fenton backhander, and he deflected it wide of the target. Now Fenton, the Jets hold us over the Hawk line to Fenton. A shot, and he missed the net. Rebound, Pazlowski near side. Put it to the line, Ellett. His long shot doesn't get through. Into the far corner, Sutter. He chops it up the boards, Lemieux, then bounces it to center ice. Here's Adam Creighton flipping it in, and Dave Ellett back for Winnipeg. Ellett bumped along the boards by Graham, poked it loose to Troy Murray, who centers, attempts to block the pass, and Howardchuk, and cleared it to Elena. Back to Dale Howardchuk, whose return pass is deflected at center. Then the Jets managed to dump it in. Now it's cleared away out to center ice. Teppo Numanen. Back of his own goal. Numanen up the middle to Howard. Chuck got stopped by Yanni. Stole it to Graham in front to Murray. Shooting. Oh, he didn't get it through the traffic. Great chance for the Hawks off a steal. But Murray's shot never reached the net. Here's Yanni at the line. His long shot and a save by Asensa. Rebound Carlisle. Clearing to the far side. Howard Chuck bounces one out to center ice. Bob Murray gave it to Trent Yanni. His pass nearly picked off by Howard Chuck. But Roenick back to pick it up. Jeremy Roenick racing in over the Winnipeg line, trying to split the defense, but Mantha took him off the puck. Into the far corner, Roenick looks to jam it out of there, getting help from Gilbert. Big battle in the corner, then Larmer came up with it centering to the line, and Manson. He put it to Conroy, who shoots it, deflects way up over the glass and into the crowd. We're 5 minutes into a scoreless first period. Hudson out there with Van Dorp and Presley for Chicago. The Howard Chuck line with Elenick and Doug Smale for Winnipeg. Peter Taglianetti standing back of his own net. Now starts the Jets away. Taglianetti, long feed missing Elenick, sliding into the Hawks zone. Smale hustles to save the icing. Jammed it loose to Howard Chuck to the line. Mantha, the long shot, and a save by Cloutier in traffic with Elenick, giving him a problem in front of the net. Hawks the other way. Van Dorp 2-on-1, moving it for Hudson. Blocked at the defense. Nice play by Mantha, who got in the passing lane. Now into the near corner goes Presley. Rolled it loose behind the net. Hudson leaves it for Van Dorp. Here's the centering pass. Presley turning. He shoots. Asensa, nice save at point by Gray. And the Jets come out with it. Howard Chuck will flip it in as the Jets head for a change. And Doug Wilson sends Roenick or Lemieux into the Winnipeg zone. Elliott got him turned around. Into the corner goes Boschman, who was a questionable starter tonight. He got knocked down on the boards by Lemieux, and he fell on top of the puck for a whistle.
The Hawks countering really well in a 2-on-1 situation, but Van Dorp made it easy for the defenseman Mantha. He telegraphed his pass. He's on the off wing, and he looked across, and Mantha read it perfectly and broke it up. Right after that, the next change, Van Dorp picks it up, muffs it out front to Presley. Presley, a good job of picking it up, turning, shooting in a sense of his first tough save of the game. Presley scored 2 goals against the Jets last season in the 3 games. Hawks have won 5 in a row against Winnipeg.
Wayne Presley looking to dent the score sheet after not scratching in the last 7 games. Face off to the left of Bob Asensa. Now the draw taken by Elliott. Back of the Winnipeg goal. Dave Elliott cleared it to the far side. Here comes Olesen. Frederick Olesen shoots it in to the near side. Boschman, he threw it around to the far board. Here's Olesen trying to center one, missing everybody in front, and Sutter the other way. Wayne Sutter coming off an excellent game in Los Angeles, dumping it into the Winnipeg end. And the Jets, Donnelly feeds Elliott in his own zone. Off the board to Boschman. And then an errant pass sliding the length. This will be an icing call against Winnipeg with 13 minutes remaining in a scoreless first period. 24-year-old Bob Asensa played collegiately at Michigan State. He's considered a rookie this year, even though he appeared in 20 games last season for the Jets. Here's Dave Manson, a long shot. It doesn't get through. And Carlisle lost it to Troy Murray for a moment behind the net. And Carlisle able to get it back and bounce it loose to Brent Ashton. Ashton out to center ice, got taken off the play by Manson. And here's Carlisle clearing it up the middle. Paslowski over the Hawk line, dropped it back, Fenn cutting right in, shooting, and a save, rebound, and Ashton couldn't get any wood on it. And Cloutier down after the first stop, but Ashton unable to get to the bouncing puck. Troy Murray wants a whistle if he can get it. And he does so, pinning it up against the far board. Good chance there for Paul Fenton, who's had a couple of opportunities in this first period.
Well, Fenton having a terrific year. He's got 18 goals in 53 games. Acquired last year from Los Angeles, played 59 games. Some movement by the forwards. The Hawks had 3 guys back with a 3-on-3 situation, but some crisscrossing in the drop pass, and 2 guys went to 1 Jet player. A nice drop pass to Fenton. And the 3 Hawks defenders went all across the ice and took 2 and left Fenton all alone. Somebody got carried away by the crisscrossing and the movement and didn't hold his ground. Luce with a good save right there as he fell back on the first one. Ashton couldn't get to the rebound, and Graham was able to put it away in the corner. The 3-on-3, you want to hold your ground. The 2 defensemen, let them crisscross as much as you can. Let them come to you. Don't commit to one. And that's what happened. 1 defenseman committed early, the traffic, and Fenton was able to spring loose in behind.
Now the draw in the Hawk zone. McElwain scoops it around the boards. On the near side, Gilbert. Greg Gilbert to Larmer on right wing at center. He bounces it in. Asensa shot it to the near side, held in by Brown. His long shot is blocked. Back to center ice. Now Keith Brown bounces one to center ice, then gets it back. Brown feeds Gilbert, who taps it into the Winnipeg zone. On the left wing board, Doug Smale clearing it back to center. The Hawks shoot it in from there, and here's Mantha. Oh, Mantha for Smale. His feed as McElwain is in. Here's the shot. He scores! Dave McElwain having a great year here in Winnipeg. He was sprung by Smale, and it's 1-0 Winnipeg.
Well, McElwain, a player that was picked up from the Pittsburgh Penguins, played mostly in their minor league system, grew up in Sarnia, in that Sarnia area, and he picked it up, full head of steam, perfect pass by Fenton. McElwain pulled away, faked, pulled it over to the forehand. Kluche got a piece of it reaching back with the goal stick, but what a pass by the veteran Smale onto McElwain. McElwain, good wheels, picked it up and then faked and just got enough on the shot as it trickled in over the outstretched stick of Kluche to give the Jets a 1-0 lead at 8:19.
Dave McElwain, who in 90 games with the Pittsburgh Penguins had 12 goals, that's his 16th of this year. Smale and Mantha get the assist at 8:19 on McElwain's 16th of the year. Now the Jets with a giveaway to Hudson, and looks like a late whistle on the offside call, but Ron Finn makes the call, and the play is stopped with 11 minutes to go in the first. It's 1-0 Winnipeg. And Lemieux for Chicago, the Howard Chuck line. For the Jets with Ashton and Ellenuk. Here's the play into the Winnipeg zone. Olesen has a problem with Creighton behind the net. He stole it. Got help from Lemieux. Then Carlisle poked it off his stick. Now Ellenuk bounces one to the Hawk line. Taken by Conroy for Dwayne Sutter. Sutter tied up by Howard Chuck, but he got away from him. Battles it to the Jet line and sends it in from there. Here's Carlisle. Back to center ice. Bouncing it in. Taken by Doug Wilson. Puts it ahead to Troy Murray. Now Thomas on left wing. Bank one into the Jet zone. Manson on the near side. Flips it around to the far corner. Doug Wilson in there deep. He centered one at the flex wide. Now back to the net, Troy Murray. Murray trying to put it out in front. Howard Chuck picks off that pass. Comes loose to the near board. Now taken by Teppo Numanen. Numanen sends Howard Chuck out to center ice. His pass picked off by Brown nicely. And cleared back into the Winnipeg zone. Paul Fenton on the near side. Now carries it out to center ice. Fenton gains the Hawk line and makes a pass back to the neutral area. Picked up there by Dirk Graham. Halfway through the first period, 1-0 in favor of the Jets. As it's in the Winnipeg zone, Pazlowski rolled it back to the center ice area. Here's Jeremy Roenick. Back to the Jet line. Roenick on the near side, drops it for Bob Murray. He flips one toward the net, gloved by Asensa. He'll hang on with a couple of Hawks in the neighborhood.
So far, Pat, the Jets have really slowed up the Blackhawks and not given them that many opportunities. The Senses had very few tough saves in the first half of period number 1.
Here's Van Dorp back of the Jet goal. Gets it loose to Hudson, who centers, but the puck cleared away from Presley. Picked up by Mark Kumpel. Presley ran into him, but Ellett carries on. His feet missing McElwain. Sliding back to the Chicago net. And out of the goal came Cloutier to get in the way of the rushing McElwain. That allows the Hawks to touch it for an icing call. And they'll bring the draw back into the Winnipeg zone.
Heads up play by Cloutier. Cloutier's got good knowledge of the game, good understanding of the game, and he touches it and nullifies the icing. And McElwain with good speed. Cloutier let it go, interfered with him, stood there. McElwain bumped into him, and Conrad was able to come and touch it to get a face-off in the Jet zone.
There aren't too many arenas that the Blackhawks visit that they don't have some followers on hand.
Well, best-looking jerseys in sports, I would say.
A great logo and crest and terrific uniform is right. Especially this road uniform. I think the home uniform's a great one too, but this road uniform with that sharp red, white, and black is really something special. Now here's the draw cleared to center ice. Adam Creighton. His pass hits the leg. Brown has to chase back. Brown got stopped by Howard-Chuck at center, but Creighton carries on over the line to Lemieux on his backhand. Turns in behind the net. He's center one. Creighton, he just couldn't get to the loose puck. And back come the Jets 3-on-2 if they hurry. Smale racing over the line left side for Howard-Chuck. He centered it. It hits the skate into the near corner. Taken there by Sutter. Getting help from Wilson around the board to Lemieux with room on the left side. Jocelyn Lemieux now shoots it in. Randy Carlisle back for Winnipeg. He shot it to the neutral zone. Now bouncing loose there, taken by Larmer. In over the Jet line, stops on the near side. Center one too far for Roenick in front. Roenick picks it up now, put it in front. A bouncing puck just wide of the net as Gilbert redirected it. Gilbert back of the goal battles Newmanen, who wins the puck. And Teppo Newmanen beats Brent Ashton at center. Ashton gains the Hawk line, but lost it in traffic. And the Jets carry on, but offside on the play.
Jeremy Roenick trying to get that puck into Gilbert. Gilbert deflected it, changed the direction of the shot, bounced just wide of Asensa. Roenick with 33 points in his last 24 games, 14 goals in that span. Really has turned it on since early in December. We'll get an opportunity to talk to Jeremy Roenick live between the first and second period.
Now Dave Manson back of his own goal. Winnipeg leading 1-0 with 7.5 to go in the first. As Manson carries to center, put it to Graham, a long shot, and Asensa makes the save and kicks it over the glass into the crowd.
Dirk Graham with a good shot there, a long shot from the point, trying to surprise Asensa, the rookie, but Asensa showing quick legs, a butterfly-type style, going down and kicking back to his right. Good outlet pass from Manson, who did some stick handling deep in his own zone. He was last man back. Was able to get away with it and make the pass to Graham. Asensa, who played last year, as you said, 20 games. 6 wins in his career last year, but he's still considered a rookie.
Jets Jets are hoping to finally get some stability in their goaltending position. They've had all sorts of, it's been a revolving door at that position here the last couple of years. A few years ago, they thought they had the problem answered with Berthiaume and Reddick, two youngsters, but they have not panned out, and eventually were both traded along. Now it's Asensa and rookie Stefan Beauregard minding the net for the Jets. Here's a flip shot deflecting to the doorstep where Cloutier smothers it and hangs on.
Well, the Jets struggled a bit early because of their goaltending. Berthiaume had the controversy last year where he left and didn't want to report to the minors, and then since then has been traded after a conflict with some of the fans, apparently using profanity and reluctant to sign autographs for young kids. Brought up Beauregard. They were trying to keep a sense in the minors as long as possible to get some seasoning, but they were forced to call him up sooner than they thought. He's really performed well for them.
Talk about the Jets and their revolving door and goal. They've had 4 different players mind the net for them this year, and 3 are rookies. And so Winnipeg continuing to search for the answer to that riddle. Who will be their main man in net? Here's Wilson, a long shot. Asensa put it to the corner. Bill Sykes after it there. Sends it up the boards, and Boschman cleared to center. McDermott beating Olesen over the line. His drop pass broken up by Wilson beautifully, but Elliott kept it in. Rolled it in there deep. Now a battle behind the Hawk net. 4 players digging it loose, then a pass deflects to the line. Elliott tees it up, shooting, and a save by Cloutier. He had to lunge quickly to his left and made a good stop. Then Hudson cleared it back into the Winnipeg zone. Oh, Mantha's pass picked out of midair by Gilbert, but they say it was with a stick above the shoulder, and the whistle sounds. Bob Murdoch looking on, and as you mentioned, Dale, here's his second stint as an NHL coach, of course, but his first year here in Winnipeg, and that'd be a difficult situation early on when Dale Howardchuk was having a difficult time accepting his role. Instead of being the big star, had to play the short shifts and was expected to get back defensively, but Murdoch has won that war, and I'm sure there were some anxious times for both the star Howardchuk and the coach Murdoch as they got acclimated to one another.
Sure, there were a lot of trade rumors as well. I think a lot of teams trying to grab a hold of Howardchuk, trying to get the Jets when they're down, missing the playoffs last year. Everyone wants your best player and wants to give up practically nothing for them. So I'm sure there were a lot of opportunities early in the season and even in the offseason as far as trades were concerned, and had to affect Howardchuk. And he was Murdoch likes to go with 4 lines and 6 defense. Howardchuk wasn't getting near the ice time he normally got. I'm sure Howardchuk would rather see his team win and make the playoffs and be successful than get 120 points a year.
Howardchuk now has adapted, and as Dale mentioned, really coming on since the first of the year. 12 goals his last 15 games and 27 points. Here's Larmer in his own end. Cleared it to Conroy, who flips it in. Taken by Taglianetti to Howardchuk on the near side. Long backhand pass right to Smale, but he got stopped at center. Thomas the other way, put it to Graham. Back to Thomas, then again to Graham, but his centering pass is broken up. To the line, and Brown is long shot, and a save by Asensa. He just got a tiny piece of that. Brown nearly muscled it right through him. Now Thomas, the Roenick side of the net. He got a rough ride from Mantha, who knocked him down behind the goal. That is cleared back to the Chicago zone. 15 minutes into the game, we have yet to see a penalty call tonight. And Dave McElwain has the game's only goal for Winnipeg as the puck winds up in the Jet bench.
Marawelli refereed last night in Toronto. And that Toronto win over Pittsburgh, so it's not an easy commute from Toronto to Winnipeg.
Where is it easy to get to Winnipeg from? This is one of those places you can't get there from here.
Not that many flights into Winnipeg, a small community here in Manitoba, but good hit, created a scoring chance. Roenick with the hit and Brown with the shot.
And right from the draw, Bob Murray just flipped one toward the net. Presley went charging toward the goal. Tough stop for Asensa, and then he held off the Presley stuff effort.
Most defensemen really like to rifle it and crank it up, but Bob Murray just tried to get it in the front. Presley knocked it down right into the pads of Asensa. Sent off bounds. Wasn't ready for the first shot because of the quickness of it. More important for a defenseman to first of all get it through, and then second of all get it on target.
Now Teppo Numanen beating Laurie Boschman at center. Then Fenton will shoot it in. Back to the Hawk net. Paul Fenton got a bump from Yanni. They both hit the deck. Then Paslowski dug it out, centering and rocked in front. Now Paslowski got to it, but as he stick-handled around Luce, Hudson came defensively to take it away and may have saved a goal. And the Hawks dump it back the other way. Here's a steal by Gilbert. In behind the net. Gilbert will leave it there, but misses Larmer. And now Fenton, or Ashton rather, bounces it back to the Hawk line. Taken by Dave Manson. He feeds Larmer at center, putting Roenick over the line. Jeremy Roenick flips it toward the goal mouth. Gloved easily by Asensa. He'll go down and cover it up. Late in the first period, the Jets have a one-goal lead. Here's a play in the Winnipeg zone. Dave Ellis swung it around the near side. McElwain chopped it into the Chicago end. Doug Wilson is on it. Around the boards to Gilbert. He clears not out. Sykes held it in to McElwain. Back to Sykes trying to cut in. He shoots one. Oh, he just missed the far post with that. Larmer the other way on right wing. Sends it into the Jet end. Taken by Olesen. On the left wing boards and Sykes. Cleared it across ice to McDermott, who shoots it in. Bad hop to the side of the net. McElwain there, but Manson able to corral him. Now Graham sends Manson to center ice. Manson dumping it into the Jet zone. Kumpel is on it. Cleared it to the near board. Sutter chasing after it. Took a hit from Taglianetti. However, the Winnipeg Jets able to clear it back into the Hawk zone. And this will be an icing call against the Jets.
Well, the first half, the Jets didn't give the Blackhawks any opportunities, but the Hawks seemed to be coming on. For giveaways in the Jet zone. Kumpel just fell down, but the Jets were able to clear, and that's one of the primary goals of both these teams this year, coming into the season, cutting their goals against down, and both teams have been successful up till now in doing so. The Jets last year gave up 355 goals, missed the playoffs.
Now the draw on the Winnipeg end. Creighton behind the net got tied up. Troy Murray after it there. Murray digs it out. Put it to Conroy in the corner. Boschman stepped into him. Now Mantha and Creighton dueling. Then Thomas came up with it. Thomas trying to center one. Mantha had it lost into Creighton. Trying to stuff it in. A long reach by Asensa. Diving headlong. And he's able to corral it with a very tip of his catching glove. All sorts of scrambling going on in the corner. Finally, Thomas able to pick it up. Put it to the side of the net after it hit the skate of Mantha, and Creighton just couldn't get the long reach. Asensa with the boarding house reach to glove it before any of the Hawks could swarm to the front of the net. But just squirts loose, and Asensa seeing it like the final pork chop before Steve Thomas could get to the loose puck. Thomas, just a goal and an assist in his last 5 games. A career streak scorer. Now a little bit slower pace than he'd like the last little while, trying to get back on track offensively. 2 minutes remain in the opening period. 1-0 in favor of the Jets. Here's Dale Howardchuk. His pass broken up to Larmer. Larmer feeding Gilbert. His pass intercepted by Ashton. And Doug Wilson, a nice play to take it back. Here comes Gilbert over the Jet line. Greg Gilbert, a shot deflecting wide. Larmer to the near corner is tied up. Gilbert trying to help out, but Carlisle tied him up along the board. Randy Carlisle trying to clear it. Hudson keeping it in. Turns behind. Now trying to muscle in front. A big scramble. Asensa trying to smother it. He never did. At the line is Brown. A shot. Doesn't get through. Larmer to the far board. Out to the line, Wilson. Wilson trying to flip it in front of the net. Hudson got decked there. And it's cleared finally back to center ice. A couple of nervous moments for Winnipeg in their own end. Here comes Hudson again. To Larmer. Cleared it into the near corner. Thomas. Into the final minute of the period as Thomas centers. It's stolen by the Jets. Pazlowski racing out with it. Greg Pazlowski got tied up by Manson. Ellett carries on. Into the slot. Dave Ellett. The shot. Deflecting right in front. And a save by Cloutier. What a glorious opportunity for the Jets. And I believe it was Pat Ellenuk who had that bouncing puck, or Boschman rather. Laurie Boschman, a glorious opportunity for the Jets after Ellett takes the flip shot. It deflects right into the goal crease, and with Cloutier down, Boschman just unable to muscle it over the glove or through it. Ellett able to weave to his forehand to get himself the angle to shoot. It deflects wide, and there's Boschman unchecked. But Cloutier diving to his left smothered it before Boschman could make it 2-0. Laurie Boschman, a lot of the Hawks were anticipating him being unable to play tonight. He did not skate apparently today in the pregame skate with Winnipeg, but he of course is out there and has been taking a regular turn. Boschman had fractured his finger, and the report said that he'd be out another 7 days, but obviously it's not held him out here tonight. 38 seconds left in the opening period. Face off to the right of Cloutier. Boschman and Troy Murray ready. Now the Hawks having difficulty getting in the proper position. Everybody looking over to Mike Keaton to see where he wants his player's position. Now they're ready, and the draw to the Jets. Ellis tees it up, shoots one, deflecting up over the glass and into the crowd. Dave Ellis been a big force offensively for the Jets. Every year he's been in the league, he has scored in double figures in goals. This is his 6th year. Last year, 22 goals and 56 points for Dave Ellis. This year so far, 12 goals and 30 points. Very skillful offensive defenseman who's got a good shot from the point. Face off right in the slot in front of the Hawks net. Boschman and Creighton now. Boschman won it again to Ellett. His shot well wide. Back of the net, Brown to the far side, Graham. Dirk Graham gave it to Wilson. And here come the Blackhawks. Doug Wilson bangs it in, hoping for Graham, who gets there in the far circle, then got help from Creighton. A backhander and a save by Asensa. Good work by Bob Asensa to not give up a rebound there with Troy Murray muscling for position. Meanwhile, Adam Creighton, with that long reach, able to utilize it. And a sweeping turnaround backhand shot. Tough chance for Asensa, who juggled, but was able to corral it before Graham or Murray could get to the loose puck. Bob Asensa, in 4 years at Michigan State, had a goals against in college of 2.68, and he had 7 shutouts collegiately for the Spartans. Tough task to record very many shutouts in the normally wide open collegiate game. Now just 14 seconds remain in the opening period. Mike Hudson and Boschman to the right of the Jet goal. And not anymore. Ron Finn will toss them out. Each team with a couple of centermen out there. So now McElwain and Murray will come in. McElwain has the game's only goal. There's the draw. McElwain winning it. Cleared it to the near side. Brown got run over by McDermott as it squirts loose to center ice. And the teams will run out of time there. So in the opening period, here's the draw now as we start the second period. Mike Hudson back of the Jet goal. Leaves it there, but Ellett took it away. Then Hudson gets it back. Into the near corner, Gilbert. Greg Gilbert got tied up. And Ashton clears it to the center ice area. Taken by Doug Wilson. Then Olesen got to it over the line to Ashton. He shoots one. Saved by Kluche. Rebound pass. Lasky centered, but it's picked off by Sutter. And he looks to clear. But Paslowski kept it in. Back of the Hawk goal, Ashton. Got knocked down to the seat of his pants by Wilson. Solid hit by Doug Wilson, and they both fell on top of the puck, and the whistle sounds.
Well, Doug Wilson can do it both ways. He's solid as anybody defensively and can do it at offensive end as well. Having a terrific season and showing some great strength there. Ashton, tough customer and hard to knock off his feet, but Wilson just hammered him.
Face off to the left of Jacques Cloutier.
Well, a lot of difficulty in this hockey game as far as face-off situations about where people should be and what to do. I think by this time of year they'd have it down.
Here's the draw taken by Adam Creighton. He bounces one out to center. And the Jets are back in offside on the play. Dale, they called for a doctor to report to the Chicago dressing room between periods, and I do not see Jocelyn Lemieux back on the Hawk bench at all here to start the second period. So I did not notice anything in particular in that first period where he might have gotten hurt, but obviously he's been shaken up in some form.
Hawks lost Al Secord in their victory against Los Angeles. Only played a couple of shifts in the first period, hurt his knee, and had to go back to Chicago.
We'll see if we can get a report here in a little bit. Here come the Jets, meanwhile, as they dump it into the Hawk zone. Wilson flips it around the boards, and we'll have an icing call here made against the Jets. To the left of Bob Asensa. Never faced the Blackhawks in his young career. Roenick and Howardchuk ready. Roenick wanted to Graham. He hacked at it, but chopped it up off the glass. Now Ellenuk tied up by Larmer behind the goal. Roenick took it away. Jeremy Roenick peels off on the far side, centered it. Graham in traffic, couldn't pull the trigger. He was well covered by veteran Randy Carlyle, and the Jets clear it to center ice. Taken by Manson. Manson trying to feed Larmer. Then he's deflected in front. Here's a shot and a goal! Jeremy Roenick on a fortunate bounce for the Hawks. Larmer got tied up by Carlyle, but it went right to Roenick, unchecked in front of the net. He stick-handled Asensa down and out. This game tied at 1.
Well, Roenick continues to excel. Dave Manson in the neutral zone. Tries to dump it in and hit the off the board. Carlyle overskates it as he's hooked by Larmer. It goes right to Roenick. Roenick fakes and he beats the center to the backhand and ties the game as Steve Larmer surprised veteran Carlyle from behind, poked it away from him, and Roenick made the best of it.
17th goal of the year for Jeremy Roenick, and in his last 7 games now, 6 goals for the Hawk rookie to go along with 4 assists. Manson Wilson and Larmer are given assists on the play at 1:42. Now back of his own goal, Mo Mantha for Winnipeg. Mantha cleared it to the far side. Taglianetti put it across to Kumpo, racing over the Hawk line. An errant pass broken up by Conroy. And now Creighton able to gather it in. Adam Creighton back into the Winnipeg zone. His long wrist shot and a save by Asensa, who hangs on to take a whistle.
Congratulations to Stevie Second, seated in seat 1, row 5, section 45.
The Blackhawks struggled in the first period of their last win against Los Angeles, but they came storming out of the gate in the second period. They get off to a quick start here, tying it up on Roenick's 17th. They scored 5 goals in 5 minutes and 38 seconds in their last win against Los Angeles, a team record.
Now Steve Thomas in on the left wing board. Shoot one, offense to the blocker's save. Rebound Ellett. Cleared it ahead to Ashton. Brant Ashton steps over the Hawk line, put it to Paslowski to the trailer. Olesen got tied up. Good read by Adam Creighton defensively. Hawks the other way. Thomas in on Ellett. Thomas peels off, trying to feed the trailer. Troy Murray, but Dave Ellett drilled him into the sideboards with a good hit. And now the Jets come out. Paslowski sending it ahead. Larmer breaks that up. Back ahead for Roenick. Racing in on Olesen. He cuts for the net. Roenick, he tried to pull it to his backhand and just barely failed to complete the move. Here's Roenick with a steal in the deep slot. He's knocked down. Still no penalties have been called in this game. Here come the Jets now. And Fenton slides it into the Hawk zone. Taken by Brown in the near corner. He put it to Larmer, moving at center. Steve Larmer crossing the line. Rolled it in behind the Jet goal. Comes to the near board. Conroy keeping it in to Roenick, who overskates it. Now Graham took a hit from Carlisle. Came loose along the boards. Conroy, long wrist shot blocked in the Winnipeg, after Winnipeg defense, and now the Jets sight. Bangs it into the Blackhawks zone. Keith Brown to Conroy, beating Graham on right wing at center. Dirk Graham faking the shot, trying to get around Conroy, who just got a piece of him at the last second to turn him around. And McDermott the other way, beating Dale Howard-Chuck, who lost it as he came over the line. And here's Mike Hudson to Gilbert over the Jet line. Greg Gilbert a shot and a save by a Spencer, who was going down and had to reach upstairs for the high shot. 4.5 minutes in the second period. Hawks 1, Jets 1.
Greg Gilbert, who has had an outstanding year with the Blackhawks, is a plus-minus of 28, trying to crank one up. Asensa, the prospect of going down, made that save tougher on himself by going down prematurely, but was able to reach up and pull it away.
Here's the draw. Wilson holding it into Manson. His long wrist shot sailing wide. Presley took a hit on the near board. Ellenuk knocked down as he tried to clear it, but he did get it loose to center. Here comes McElwain. McElwain over the Hawk line. Shoots one. Boucher sharply picks it out to the far side. Hudson racing after it at center. Moving in on Mantha. Oh, Mantha got back in time for the Jets. Ahead to Ellenuk. Here's the lead for Smale. He's in. Doug Smale with the shot. He scores! And Ellenuk, a great speed to spring Doug Smale. He moved in alone and fired it by Boucher to the stick side. 2-1 Winnipeg.
Blackhawks getting caught in a bad change. No one on that side of the ice, and all of a sudden it was a 2-on-1. Smale at the tail end of his shift. Mantha surprising everyone with a quick outlet pass. But nobody back. Dave Manson up at the blue line, not even paying attention to the defense. And Wilson was all alone, and Smale snuck in and buried it to give the Jets back the lead. Well, Manson was at the blue line with Mantha having the puck deep in his own zone and didn't cover up.
20th goal for Doug Smale, who, of course, represented the Jets in the All-Star game. Smale from Ellenuk and Mantha at 5:05. Here they come again. Ashton over the line on Yanni. Put it to Mantha. He whipped and he sent it open. Not Creighton score! Creighton made one save, but couldn't clear the puck away. And the quick goals for Winnipeg. They lead 3-1.
Well, Mantha having an outstanding night. Caught up with the play. Gets his third point of the night. His shot shanked it. Picked it up, put it out front. Gauthier was down anticipating the shot by Mantha. Creighton made the first save. Got the rebound out to Fenton, and he made no mistake with an empty net. And now the Jets with a 2-goal lead. 2 goals in 21 seconds. But Mantha gets his third assist of the night.
So Mo Mantha, who had just 20 points coming into this game, with 3 assists here tonight. And Winnipeg with 2 in 21 seconds now has a 3-1 lead. Now here's the draw, taken by Olesen. Rolling it into the Hog zone. McDermott chasing after, gets there, centered one. Conroy able to block the pass. Cleared it to center, and the Hawks dump it in. Fenton, that Fenton goal from Mantha and Ashton at 5:26. And Mo Mantha with 3 assists in this game. Now the Jets unable to clear their own end. Here's Wilson cutting right in. Fires! Deflected right to the side of the net, where Larmer got knocked down. And now the Jets able to work it loose to center ice. Troy Murray there. Flipping it ahead, but right to Ellett. Feeding Olesen. Frederick Olesen motors over the Hawk line, put it to Ashton, and the play is ruled offside.
Mike Keenan is not too happy with the situation. 13:31 to go in the second period. He calls his timeout, gets his troops at the bench, and has obviously something to say to them. The last couple of goals, trying to slow things down, get them reorganized and back on track. After 2 goals in 21 seconds, Roenick tied it up at 1:47 of the first period, and 1:42 of the period, and then 2 quick goals by Smale and Fenton, and good play by Keenan. No sense waiting till the last 30 seconds. I'm sure Murdoch might call one late in the hockey game, depending on the score, but this is a good call. Slow things down, get the team reorganized. Still plenty of time to get back in this, down only by 2 goals.
Now they draw into the Hog zone. Hudson bumped by Newmanen, but jammed it loose. Out to center ice. Taken by Randy Carlyle. Carlyle putting Ashton into the Hog zone. Ashton to the near corner, centered one. Manson in front to pick it off. And Dave Manson feeds Doug Wilson. Wilson to center ice, putting Hudson to the line. He had it bounce loose there, however. And Boschman for Winnipeg feeds Peppo Newmanen. In over the line to Ashton, trying to cut in. Doug Wilson able to tie him up, though, and he couldn't get the shot away. They wrestle along the far board. A couple of others join in, and they'll hold it there. And the whistle sounds. The Blackhawks have really had a great deal of success against the Jets over the years. The Hawks have won both games this year. They won all 3 games last year. In lifetime, since Winnipeg came into the league, only 12 wins in 38 games against the Hawks. Chicago 22 wins, Winnipeg 12, and 4 ties since the Jets came into the NHL.
One of the wins this year, Manson scored an overtime winning goal at the stadium against the Jets.
That was the 4-3 Hawk win. The Hawks won here in Winnipeg early in the year by a score of 4-2. Now Steve Conroy feeds Roenick, who carries the mail to center ice. Had his pocket picked by McElwain there. Now they wrestle along the boards, and it deflects into the Chicago bench.
Good job by McElwain. He's got good wheels. He's able to recover, catch up to Roenick, and lift his stick from behind and sweep it away.
Dave McElwain has really had a rebirth here in Winnipeg. We mentioned in Pittsburgh he had difficulty. Of course, there he was in a situation, too, where you've got Lemieux who's going to play half the game. They were high on John Cullen. Dan Quinn was there at the time. It was tough to get some ice time for McElwain. And in 90 games, scored just 12 goals and 22 points for the Jets, for the Penguins. Now here with the Jets in 53 games this year, 16 goals already. And 34 points.
He's got great legs. He can fly. Good penalty killer. He was used primarily in the defensive role with the Penguins and getting more of an opportunity to play. 4 lines used by Murdoch. There's Thomas Steen, McElwain, Howard, Chuck, and Boster in the 4 centermen.
Steen out of the Jet lineup tonight. Face off to the right of Bob Asensa. The draw back of the net. Mantha put it around the boards. It hits the leg. Now Graham got to it in the near corner. Got spun around by Pazlowski. And out comes Howardchuk. Dale Howardchuk putting it over the line. Fenton. The return pass is broken up to Creighton. Adam Creighton looking for Graham, but the pass deflects into the Jet zone. And Mantha just as quickly clears it back into the Chicago end. There's Bob Murray. Got it to center. Pazlowski back ahead to Fenton, and the play is ruled just offside.
Another player that's really blossomed, Fenton. Former Los Angeles King. Came over last year in 59 games, scored 14 goals. This year, he's added his 19th in tonight's game.
That gives him now 9 goals in the last 11 games for the Jets. .5 minutes to go in the second period. 3-1 in favor of Winnipeg. The play back of the Hawk net. Troy Murray got bumped along the boards, but held the puck. Now Thomas got help to clear it into the Jet zone. Dave Ellett got knocked down by Sutter. Still no penalties yet in this hockey game. Ellett back on his feet, gave it to Olesen. Long feed to Kumpel over the line. He centered it, and he scored! A great passing rush by the Jets. 3 perfect passes, and Brent Ashton right on the doorstep fired it in. 4-1 Winnipeg.
With some quick outlet passes by the Jets and some bad coverage by the Blackhawks. Olesen, a cross-ice pass. Kumpel picked it up on the off wing over to Ashton, who was left all alone. He stuck in behind the defense. A 2-on-1 situation, only one defenseman back. Nice passing from Olesen first, and then Kumpel and Ashton buries it, finishing it off. And 3 straight goals by the Jets. Now, the Blackhawks really losing some assignments in the defensive area, especially around the blue line.
Oh, pinpoint passing at times will make you do that. I mean, there's 3 point-blank passes in a row made by the Jets. Brent Ashton finishing the play from Kumpel and Olesen at 9:03. And that's tic-tac-toe, just the way you diagram it on the blackboard in the locker room. There's a way to move the puck up the ice.
You can diagram it that way, but Ashton should never have been that open. He was all alone. He stuck in behind the defenseman. Someone let him go at the line, and the defenseman, probably keying on someone else, thought he was covered. And usually that's the winger back-checking. They let that player go, and the defenseman trying to stand up got caught, and Ashton was in all alone.
Now the draw cleared back of the Hawks net. Smale got a rough ride there. Manson threw him to the ice. But the play continues as Larmer gains the line. An extra move forcing Hudson in ahead of the play.
It's not been a physical game. It's been a disciplined defensive type hockey game. Not many scoring chances up until this last 5-minute sequence. The Jets with 3 good chances and capitalizing on all of them. Manson just throwing Smale to the ice in the corner. Manson getting a lot of ice time in this particular game. Coming off a 13-game suspension. Blackhawks tied it up early, looked promising, but the Jets have countered with 3 in a row, 2 in 21 seconds. The last goal by Ashton at 9:03 has given them a commanding 3-goal lead with half the game remaining.
Creighton now with Presley and Van Dorp out there for Chicago. Ashton, Sykes, and McDermott for Winnipeg. Hawks shoot it in. Newman in. Cleared it up the near board. Held in by Conroy. A long shot. A sense gave up a rebound, and it was chopped away from Creighton before he could get to the loose puck. Now Creighton in the corner. Weaves into the near circle. Here's a backhander. Carlisle blocks the shot, and the veteran hacks it back into the Hawk zone.
Carlisle trying to move Van Dorp from in front of the net, kicked the feet from under him, but Marawelli looked the other way, and the shot saved and deflected wide.
Randy Carlisle in his 14th year. Cleared it around the boards in his own end. Now had some trouble. Here's a bouncy, but right in front they score. Van Dorp. After Creighton and Presley provided the forechecking pressure, it rolled loose to the doorstep. Van Dorp popped it in, and it's 4-2 Winnipeg.
Van Dorp out there with Presley and Creighton, all 3 forwards in the corner. And Van Dorp goes to the front of the net. Good job by Presley to get it back out front, trying to pull it back, and it squirted to Van Dorp, and he surprised the center. Carlisle trying to go behind the net. The pass intercepted by Creighton out to Presley, and Van Dorp sneaks in and puts it under a center to give the Blackhawks some renewed optimism here, now only trailing by 2, 4-2 with 9:41 to go in the second period. Oh, Presley and Creighton get the assist on Van Dorp's goal.
That's his 4th of the year. Coming at 10:19 of the period. So the Hawks now down a pair. Here's a lead for Howard-Chuck. A breakaway from center ice in. Dale Howard-Chuck shoots. He scores! Dale Howard-Chuck didn't have a red splitter within 20 feet of him from center ice in. And the Jets get the goal right back. They lead 5-2.
Well, that's been the story of this period. The Blackhawks really giving up too many odd man situations. That a clear-cut breakaway. The puck was deep in the Jet zone, and Howard-Chuck all alone in behind from the red line in. And he made no mistake going to the stick side on Jacques Cloutier. That goal coming at 10:33. 14 seconds after Van Dorp made it 4-2, Howard-Chuck scores, and it's a 5-2 Jet lead.
So an offensive explosion here the last couple of minutes, and it's a 5-2 Winnipeg lead. Larmer into the Jet zone, over to the far side, dropped it back to Brown. His long shot well wide. He looked for the carom off the end boards, but a sensor read it nicely and smothered it before Hudson could jam it loose. 9 minutes remaining in the second. Shots for Winnipeg, 5 goals. 14 shots for Chicago, 2 goals. Here's the draw to Presley, who's knocked down in the Jet zone. Here comes the Jets away. Ellis putting Kozlowski over the line, cutting in. He center one. Wilson blocked the pass. Now Eldon deep in the corner. Threw it in front of the net. A bouncing puck. Boucher muffed it. Now they scramble. Boucher trying to cover it. He can't do so. And Creighton jams it loose back to center ice. Now Dave Manson. His pass stolen by Olesen. Shot it back into the Hog zone. Cloutier out to play it himself, getting it to the neutral area. Adam Creighton got tied up, got spun around by Ellett, who hit him aggressively, and the Hawks shoot it in. Frederick Olesen Clearing it out to center. Ashton got tied up. Thomas the other way. Into the Winnipeg zone on Ellett. Thomas got bumped in the corner. Ashton takes it away. Cleared it not out. Over to the near side goes Thomas. Thomas trying to center it to Roenick all alone. The Sensa! Big save by the rookie and Jeremy Roenick all alone in front. Thomas found him, but Sensa shut the door.
Best save of the game, Sensa. Good reflex type save there. He just kicked to his left, hoping that Roenick wouldn't put it upstairs. Roenick trying to put it up top. Thomas quick pass out front to Roenick all alone, and Roenick was in close. He was in the crease, and Sensa kicked to his left and robbed Roenick of his second goal. Roenick scored his 17th. We'll start things off here in the second period, and we've had 6 goals in this. With 7:42 to go in the second period. 4 by the Jets, 2 by the Blackhawks.
Here's the draw. Yanni flips it in behind the Jet goal. Now at the side of the net, it's covered by Sensa as Gilbert tried to hack it loose.
It's winning that faceoff, but Yanni did a smart thing. Didn't have a clear shot to the net, so he went to the short side. And that's what you like to see your defense do, shoot to the short side. If you miss the net, at least the puck will stay in the offensive zone. You go to the far post, the far side. It can come out off the far boards and nullify a scoring opportunity. That was banked off the side boards, came out to the side of the net. And the Sens had to be alert to freeze it.
Now here's the draw to Yanni at the line. Yanni tied up by Eleanuk. Had it taken away. Shot back into the Chicago zone, and Bob Murray gave it to Larmer on the far side, clearing it out to center. Newman in there, feeding for Smale into the Hog zone. He got knocked down by Yanni, and Trent Yanni sends Larmer to center. Larmer in on Carlisle. An extra move forcing Hudson offside with 7 minutes to go in the second period. Disturbed look on the face of Mike Keenan, and rightly so, is Blackhawks, who looked as if they might have gotten things turned around a little bit defensively the other night in Los Angeles. All of a sudden the floodgates have opened here in the second period.
A lot of blown assignments in this, especially in the neutral zone. A lot of odd man breakouts for the Jets, and they've made the most of them. Mantha with some quick outlet passes has really turned things around for the Jets. 4 assists tonight, and all of them great plays.
And no second assistant gifts on his helpers tonight. He's been integral in all the 4 goals he's helped on. Here's a play in the Hog zone. Nice play by Wilson to tie up Sykes in the corner. Now Howard Chuck after it. Creighton stepped into him along the boards, and Presley rolled it out to center ice. Howard Chuck, long backhand pass right to Kumpel, cuts around Manson, moves it, a one-hand shot, and a save by Fluche, and the first penalty of the game is going to be called right here. Perfect backhand pass from Howard Chuck, and then a great effort and a one-hand shot made by Kumpel.
Passing's been the story. The Jets' passing has been superb in this contest. Howard Chuck just picked it up and made a backhand pass right across ice after he circled into the neutral zone. Threw Presley right across. Manson had to pull him down. He went to the hook, and Kumpel let the shot go, but first penalty goes to Manson, and the Jets with a 5-2 lead get an opportunity on the power play, which is 15th overall. They're under 20%, 42 goals and 218 chances.
On this road trip, the Hawks have allowed 1 out of 11 to be scored against them. And they desperately need a kill here, trailing 5-2. Here's Newmanen on the far side for Eleanuk along the board. Chopped loose, but right to Howard Chuck. Centered it, just missing Ellett in front of it. And Dave Ellett, normally defenseman, on the forward line here in this Jet power play. Pete Brown in the corner, kicked it loose off the side of the net to Roenick. He slipped it away to Graham. Dirk Graham carries it over the line. His shot up off the glass. Comes loose to the Jets' Ellis. He feeds Ellenuk at center ice, whose pass is broken up. And Dirk Graham now works it back to the neutral zone. Graham wasting a little time beautifully. Weaves back to his own end, then shot it to center ice. Here's Newmanen to Howard Chuck over the line. Howard Chuck drops it to Ellett near point. Back to Howard Chuck along the board. He's bumped, but he held the puck. Now loses to Graham, who fails to clear. Ellenuk keeps it in to Olofsson. Now Newmanen to Ellett. His shot sailing wide. Olofsson at the far point keeps it in. Gave it to Newmanen for Ellett near circle. Dave Ellett to the corner. Howard Chuck center one tip right in front of by Brown. Almost deflected it into his own net. It winds up in behind. Picked up by Graham with time, and he clears. Half a minute left in the Jet power play.
A three-point man on the power play in that situation. The Murdoch trying to get things going here with his special team.
Now Bob Murray with a steal, clearing it. 4.5 minutes to go in the second period. 5-2 Winnipeg. As the Jets have exploded for 4 here in the second. Now the Hawk penalty is over as Chicago comes into the Jet zone offside. Both teams are back at full strength, but it remains Winnipeg 5, Chicago 2.
Steve Larmer playing in his 613th straight game. Has an assist in this game and has 39 points in his last 26 games.
Now Gord Donnelly got it into the Chicago zone. Ashton was hustling, so Cloutier had to play it, and no icing. And now the Hawks Creighton beat Thomas over the Jet line. His shot never got through as Taglianetti poke-checked it away nicely. Now Chicago dumping it back in as they head for a change. Jets clear it to the neutral area. And the Hawks dump it in there. Taglianetti around the boards to Donnelly. Van Dorp tied him up. Now loose behind the net. Taglianetti fires it around the boards. Down into the Chicago zone. Icing is washed out. And Brown will have to play it. He falls down. A break. Oh, then Fenton overskates it. The puck a hot potato in the Hawk zone. Keith Brown fell down, and then Fenton was going to be in alone, but he forgot the most important part of the play, the little black thing. Now Fenton has control of it, steps over the Hawk line. Gave it to McElwain, but Manson rides him off the play. And then it deflects up over the glass and into the crowd.
Keith Brown had one of his legs lock under him. It looked like he was trying to come in on the near side on the off wing and just lost his balance and couldn't get back up. And then Fenton, his eyes lighting up like saucers, he just couldn't pick himself an opportunity. Brown trying to get up, just couldn't do so. And then Fenton looking at the net before he had control of the puck and overskated it.
And the grinder, Randy Lacey, working on the skate of Keith Brown, who looked as if he may have stripped an edge as he went down awkwardly there.
Sometimes you can step on a splinter from a broken stick or some situation that's not there. Can't see it. Maybe a little too much paint on that circle there.
Here's the draw in the Hawk zone. Over to the far corner, Larmer. Gave it to Manson. His pass to Gilbert, who didn't see it coming. Then Larmer carried on. Got it over the line, but was taken off the puck by Pazlowski. Now Ellett ran into trouble. They score! Dave Ellett lost it to the side of the net on a great forechecking job by Gilbert. Larmer finished the play, and it's 5-3 Winnipeg.
Well, Ellett was surprised from behind and then was hooked at the last second. Larmer, a good job to keep the play alive as he was tied up by two players. Poked it into the corner. Ellett picked it up. Gilbert hooks him in the top hand. He loses possession, hits the side of the net. Gilbert advances it about 6 inches out to Larmer, and he tucks it in off the far post. Sensa totally surprised with Gilbert. That's the type of season he's had. He's never given up. He just perseveres, forechecks, and creates a scoring chance for Larmer. The 5-3 lead now for the Jets with 2.5 minutes to go.
Larmer's 21st of the year from Gilbert at 17-28. And the Hawks back to within a pair. Now at the Jet line, it bounces free to center. Hawks put it back in there. Newman in to Carlisle, clearing away to Howardchuk. Howardchuk's pass banks one to Kumpel over the line. He shoots one and it's saved by Cloutier. Rebound, Van Dorp swept it back into the Winnipeg zone. Howardchuk flipped it back the other way. Taken by Manson. Long feed to Steve Thomas. Got it into the Winnipeg end, and the Sensa's going to glove it with Graham racing in there along with Roenick. And the Sensa taking no chances in his own end.
Sensa looking rather cool for a youngster. Made the right play there. That was a safe play, smart play with the speedy forwards coming in. Graham, Roenick, and Thomas, 3 guys just flying in on the crease area. Sensa made the right play. 17 shots for the Blackhawks, 3 goals. 16 shots for the Jets, 5 goals. Not a lot of scoring chances. The Jets have had a few more than the Blackhawks. Most of them have been 2-on-1s, 3-on-1s, and breakaway by Howardchuk.
Here's Mo Mantha to Smale. Now McElwain. Gave it to Taglianetti, who shoots it into the Chicago end. Jeremy Roenick unable to clear it. Here's Helena cutting right in, centered it. Here's McElwain and a diving poke check by Cloutier. Then McElwain almost banks it in off the Hawk goaltender. But out comes Thomas. Thomas over the Jet line, shooting, and a save by Sensa. However, the Hawks were offside anyway, and another near miss there around the Chicago net.
Well, McElwain just couldn't locate the puck. Cloutier had to dive across. It was another 2-on-1 situation. Helena crossed to McElwain. Cloutier diving to his right. McElwain lost possession, then banked it off the skate of Cloutier and almost in. When Thomas picked it up, Thomas with Hudson open on the far side, streaking it in, couldn't hold up. One extra stick handling move. It's the 3rd time in the last 5 minutes Hudson has gone offside. He hasn't gotten the puck and he's been open.
Now we're into the final minute of the second period. It's in the Winnipeg zone. Larmer and Ellett in the corner. Then Ashton looks to clear. Got a funny hop off the glass, but the Jets come out anyway. Donnelly over the Hawk line to Boschman. He's too well covered. Then Donnelly shoots one and a save by Cloutier, and he hangs on.
Well, the Jets, with some good speed up front, are taking advantage of it tonight. They're countering extremely well. A lot of their good offensive breaks have started deep in their own zone with some good outlet passes. Boschman pulled off, and then Donnelly out there, who acquired from Quebec last year to add some muscle to the lineup, let a quick shot go that almost surprised Cloutier. Only a tough customer.
He was involved in a controversy recently when one of the Jets' opponents alleged that he was wearing surgical gloves under his regular hockey gloves, which would be illegal. The Jets were claiming it was just a tape job, but he got into an altercation and apparently cut the man he was fighting against. And there's some beefing going on about that, but nothing resulting in terms of any sorts of penalties or suspensions. Here's a long feed for Hudson. He couldn't locate it. Now chasing after it. Sensa charged out of the net. Otherwise, Hudson would have had a good opportunity. And Manson back in his own end. Got it to Creighton, who was stopped at center. 20 seconds left in the period. Now Dave Ellett off the boards, missing Ashton down into the Hog zone. Manson gave it away. Boschman centered one. It hit Doug Wilson, though, and Manson gets it back, but he'll run out of time as the second period comes to an end. 5-3 heading into the third period. Here's Paul Fenton off the draw. Here's a 2-on-1. Fenton over the line, cutting it fired. Cloutier the save. Manson cleared it not out. Olison a shot. Hit Ashton. Rebound in front. They score! At the 14-second mark, the Jets come roaring out of the gate. It's 6-3 Winnipeg.
Cloutier made an excellent save on the 2-on-1 situation on Fenton's shot, but then he fell down and he couldn't get back up. Fenton cranks it up, and Cloutier makes the save, and then he goes down. He's down. He can't get back up. He tries to get back up. He's still on the seat of his pants, and he's been down for about 15 seconds, and finally it's in the net.
Greg Paslowski, who's had an excellent career against Chicago, most of his time, of course, with the St. Louis Blues. Paslowski now with 19 goals in 33 games in his career against the Blackhawks. So Paslowski at the 14-second mark. Ashton and Olison get the assist at 14 seconds. There's the play in the Jet zone. A giveaway to Conroy. He shoots one, deflected wide by Roenick. Now Thomas bumps on the near side, and it came free to center, where the Blackhawks shoot it back in. Randy Carlyle. For Newmanen, lost it. Roenick got turned around, though. And the Jets get it back. Dale Howardchuk carries it over the Hawk line, turning, then he centered one. McDermott couldn't find the handle. Roenick does. And he'll carry it to the line, a long shot deflecting wide. Dale Howardchuk. Long feed to center, picked off by Presley into the Winnipeg zone. His shot deflecting, and a save by Asensa. That hit a Jet defenseman and slightly changed direction. May have dipped a little bit as well. And a good stop by the rookie, Bob Asensa.
Pass intercepted. Howardchuk a dangerous pass. Deflected by Creighton to Presley. Presley using the defenseman as a screen, and the puck dipped. Asensa surprised by it and almost had it go through him, but was able to cover up and get on top of it. Meanwhile, Alain Chevrier is going to replace Jacques Cloutier. This will be the 13th time this year that Mike Keenan has changed the goaltenders, and 6 goals and 20 shots. That's enough. Cloutier goes to the box, and it's not been a glorious night for Jacques Cloutier. Meanwhile, Chevrier, who's been replaced by Cloutier, I think 3 of the last 4 starts for Chevrier, does the favor for Cloutier now, and his job is to shut the door. He had a brief stay here with Winnipeg. Alain Chevrier came over, and what turned out to be the steal of the year last year as far as the Blackhawks. Didn't give up much for him, and Chevrier was responsible for the Hawks' success late in the season and in the playoffs. Another fine move by Bob Fulton.
Here's a 2-on-1 to Creedham. Over the line is McElwain. He centered one, blocked by Yanni, who got in the lane nicely. Yanni breaks it up as McElwain tried to feed Boschman. Presley the other way got stopped at the Jet line. Now Bob Murray gave it to Yanni. Trying to get it to Hudson. Got around Olison, cutting in. Here's Hudson, a shot, and a save by Asensa. And then Hudson went crashing into the end boards, but manages to get back up. Here comes Smale out with it. Smale flipping it into the Chicago zone. Greg Gilbert around the boards to Larmer on the near side. Steve Larmer put it to Gilbert. Now Roenick over the line. Jeremy Roenick trying to center one, missing Larmer in front. And the Jets clear it back the other way. Taken by Conroy. Gave it to Graham, dumping it in. Paslowski leaves it go along the board. Hawks keep it in. Thomas far corner. Center one. Roenick had his stick tied up in front. And now the Jets come away. But a pass broken up by Thomas at center ice. And he lost it to Fenton over the line, trying to center it. Manson steals. Quick Hawk outlet to Thomas over the line. And the Jets look like they might get caught in a player change, but Carlisle hustled off the bench to tie up Steve Thomas. And he and Thomas have a few words now, but the play continues as Graham has it at center ice. Dirk Graham into the Winnipeg zone. Banked one to Gilbert. Fought off a hit to shoot one, but he golfed it wide of the net. Now Dale Howardchuck to Donnelly. Couldn't get it out. Wilson shot blocked in front of the net. Came to Larmer. He turns into the deep slot. Now lets it go. Espensa stops it. Rebound Wilson. Wilson on the far side. To the near point, Bob Murray. He flips it around the board. Donnelly's lost his stick. Fails to clear it. Trying to kick at it. Wilson along to tip. Oh, that didn't miss the near post by much. Now into the corner fence. Trying to clear it. He got it by Creighton. And it winds up at center ice. Here's Donnelly over the line. His shot up high off the glass. And Larmer comes out to center ice. He and Smale got tangled, but it winds up deep in the Jet zone. Taken by Mantha. Gave it to Kumpel. And he rolled it to the Chicago line. Brown dumping it back in. And the Jets clear it right back out to center. Now Taglianetti to McElwain, leaving for Kumpel over the line. Back to McElwain, who swings it around the board. Smale centered it. Here's McElwain. A shot and a save by Chevrier. Rebound right in front. They scramble. Smale can't find it. It's kicked at. And now Roenick able to pick it up. Got it to Presley. And he rolled it out to center ice. And the Jets dump it back in. Presley now fires it into the Winnipeg zone. Taken by Dave Ellis. Ahead to Ashton. Ashton over the line. Got turned around by Manson. And it's cleared to the center ice area. Now Adam Creighton was poke checked by Ellis. There's Pazlowski the other way. Put it to Ashton and shot. He just missed the far post with that. Rebound to Creighton. And he bounces it down into the Jet zone. Picked up by Dave Ellis. Now shot to the center ice area. There's Thomas. Unable to get it in there. Taken by Boschman. And Doug Wilson bumped him off the play into the Hog zone. Now the Jets Newmanen for Dave Ellis. He clears it to the neutral area. Wilson got tied up there, but got help from Gilbert. Greg Gilbert feeding for Larmer. Newmanen picked it off nicely to Howardchuck over the line for Sykes, cutting and shoots. And a save by Chevrier, who now plays to Larmer. Larmer cross ice to Gilbert over the line. Gilbert on the far side got around to check, but lost the handle on as he tried to move to the net. And Carlisle feeds Phil Sykes at center ice. Now the Jets dump it in from there. Taken by Brown. Keith Brown shoots it into the Jet zone. Allenuk trying to clear it, winds up in the Winnipeg bench.
The Jets doing a good job of killing time off the clock, not giving up that many chances. They're 15-1-1 this year with the lead after 2 periods of play, and they've done a good job in the first half of this third period shutting down the Hawks.
Now we'll have an icing call coming up against Winnipeg. The Jets looking to break a 5-game losing streak against Chicago, and lately the Jets haven't been going all that great themselves. They had a 4-game winning streak at one point, but after that 4-game streak, just 2 victories in the last 9 games for Winnipeg. So that man Mo Mantha has had a big impact on this game tonight with 4 assists. And he's a big part of the reason the Jets have a very large lead of 6-3.
His second stint with the Jets, Mantha started his career with the Jets and then was much traveled the last couple of seasons and picked up in the waiver draft at the beginning of the season.
Now Now the draw in the jet zone. Far corner, Graham took a bump from Mantha. Aglianetti gave it to Fenton. And then it's shot back to the Hawk line. Trent Yanni bangs it to center. Boschman feeding Fenton into the Hawk zone. He got stopped at the line. And it's shot back into Winnipeg territory. Paul Fenton dumps it into the Blackhawk end. Gilbert puts the touch on it for an icing call with 12 minutes left in the third. 6-3 Winnipeg.
Jets with a 6-3 lead. Montreal gets back-to-back shutouts on the weekend. They beat Hartford 2-0 after a 1-0 win last night over Buffalo.
Long shot by Manson right off a draw won by Roenick. Osensa making the save. It winds up high in the air, and he dives to glove it.
Osensa has not had a lot of tough saves in this contest. A couple of shutouts in tonight's action. The Islanders shutting out Buffalo. Healy getting the shutout. Fitzpatrick was the one getting all the shutouts for the Islanders earlier on. And Waugh gets his second straight shutout as Montreal beat Hartford 2-0. The Islanders won 1-0 in Buffalo.
The Sabres have failed to score now in 2 straight games. There's the play in the jet zone. Larmer centered one. Roenick at his feet, couldn't kick it to his stick. Now Larmer put it in front again. Roenick a bouncing puck, gathers it in far side. Back of the goal to Larmer. Larmer had it knocked loose, and the Jets' Ashton moves on left wing to center. He dumps it in. Roenick to the far side. Gilbert got it to center ice. Randy Carlyle back to McDermott over the line. Paul McDermott into the corner. Tied up there by Manson. Then Howard Chuck digs it out, trying to walk in front. Chevrier poke checked it away. And Sutter puts it into the jet zone, or the jet bench, actually, as it turns out, and the whistle sounds.
The Jets speed up front, trying to put pressure on the Blackhawks, killing off some valuable time by being aggressive and not sitting back. Getting on the Hawks early in their own zone and not allowing them to break out. Hawks really haven't been in control of this game at all. It's been the Jets right from the beginning. The Blackhawks had a brief flurry late in the first period. It's pretty well dominated by Winnipeg.
Now here's Newman with a long shot. Chevrier stops that. Rebound to Presley. Clearing to center. Carlisle dumping it back in. Sutter goes down in the corner. Dug out of there by Kumpel to McElwain. He put it to the line but missed Newman. And the Jets have to regroup in their own end. There's McElwain. Out to center and Kumpel. Mark Kumpel over the Hawk line to the far side. Smale rolled it in there deep, and then Jet player McElwain goes crashing into the goal, which comes loose, and we're halfway through the third period. It's Winnipeg 6, Chicago 3. We pause for a regional break. With Dale Talon, Pat Foley back in the arena in Winnipeg, where the Jets move in. They score! A turnaround shot by Paul Fenton, scoring his second goal of the game. A bouncing puck into the slot. Fenton gathered it in and stuffed it in. 2 for Fenton, and it's 7-3 Winnipeg.
Well, Fenton, everything going his way. Ashton chips it into the Chicago zone. Manson fails to clear. Hudson overskates it, and Fenton's the only one that seems to be able to locate the bouncing puck. Turns his fire and put it under Chevrier. Manson couldn't handle it, Hudson couldn't, and Fenton makes them pay. 7-3 Winnipeg lead. Ashton getting the assist on Fenton's 20th. Ashton having a big night with a goal and 2 assists. Benton with 2 goals. Mantha with 4 assists.
Benton from Ashton at 9:58. And Brent Ashton will be mad if you forget about one of his assists. He's got 1 and 3 now, a goal and 3 assists. He had 1 in the second and 2 here in the third. The Jets have been scoring so often, it's at times difficult to keep up with all their marksmanship, and now we're going to have the game's second penalty called.
Kozlowski, the former St. Louis Blue, gets a penalty, the first Jet penalty of the game, a hooking penalty at 10:07. And the Blackhawks desperately need to score with a man advantage here, trailing 7-3 with just under 10 minutes remaining in the third.
Hawks just 2 out of 13 on this road trip with a power play. As Bob Murray starts out of his own end. Murray out to center, will shoot it in. All the way around the board, bounced loose to center, and McElwain flipped it to the Hawk line. Taken by Wilson to Thomas. Thomas in over the Jet line. Weaves to the near board, got tied up there, lost it to Smale, who clears. And Thomas, disgusted with himself, slamming his stick along the board. Been that kind of night for not only Thomas, but quite a few of his teammates. Hawks dump it in. Sykes knocked down Thomas to win the puck, gave it to Newman on the far board. He couldn't get it out. Wilson held it in. Then Newman had got a second chance and cleared.
The 5th-ranked power play in the league against the 5th-ranked penalty-killing unit. And so far, it's the penalty-killing unit that's dominated. And only 40 seconds to go in the Kozlowski hooking penalty.
Larmer shoots it in. Back of the net goes Creighton. Jammed it loose to Larmer. Out to the line, Brown. Deep slot, Yanni. Gave it back to Brown to Larmer, a one-timer, and sends the rebound. Taken by Kumpel, and he cleared. Well, the Jets are finding all the bouncing pucks and controlling, while the bouncing puck there in the slot with a sense of down. 3 Hawks around, but nobody could get any wood on it. Here come the Hawks. Back of the net goes Larmer. He was knocked down, and Carlisle rolled it out to center ice. Where the Jets, Fenton clears it the rest of the way. And the Winnipeg penalty is over. Both teams are back at full strength. And the puck up into the crowd. The Jets about to go 3 games over 500. Looking for their 15th home ice win. They're 14-9-4 so far. And they're in the driver's seat now with a 7-3 lead. And 7.5 minutes to go. Here's Mo Mantha to Phil Sykes at center ice. Mantha clobbered him awkwardly into the boards, and Sykes bouncing right back up. He hit right into where that glass begins, and boy, that's a dangerous area. Now an offside call against the Hawks. It's amazing, Dale, that we don't see more people hurt in those types of situations.
He hit his head on that foam rubber situation. There's a piece of glass separating both benches, and Manson just solid, vicious hit. Got a lot behind him, got the glove up around the throat area, and just leveled him. His head hit that rubber padding, and he went down, but he bounced right back up. The former L.A. King. One of the role players acquired by the Jets.
Here's Greg Gilbert. He shoots it in. Larmer to the corner, leaves for Creighton, who flips it in behind the goal. Now Brown looking to center. Deflects over to Boschman. And he cleared to center ice. Gilbert puts it back into the Winnipeg end. Taken by Olesen. Frederick Olesen, long pass ahead for Smale, deflecting it into the Chicago zone. And Thomas starts the Hawks back. Long feed right to Roenick. Steps over the line, leaves for Graham. He centered it. Thomas. Oh, the pass at his feet. Thomas was alone in front, but the pass just missed him. Now on the far side, Thomas works it loose on the boards. In traffic, had it poked away. Back to center ice, where Graham will try to dump it in. Can't get it deep. Smale feeds McElwain. McElwain into the Chicago zone. Long flip shot blocked by Chevrier to Manson. Dave Manson for Wilson. Up the middle to Hudson, who clears it to the jet end. And McElwain is on it, pushing it up over the glass and into the crowd.
And we'll repeat the winning number in today's Winnipeg Jets goals for kids 50-50 draw. The number is 178009.
This year, the Hawks have better records against everybody else than they do against the divisional opponents. Chicago, in their own division, is under 500, 8-9-1. So they'll have a chance to change that. Their final two games of this trip: Thursday night in Detroit, Saturday afternoon in Minnesota. Here's the draw. Taken by the Jets, clearing to center. Hudson goes down but shoots it in. Mantha clears it up the boards. Hudson keeps it in, but his pass picked off. And McDermott away for Winnipeg. Flips it over the line. Here's McElwain. He's in alone. He shoots and a save by Chevrier. Dave McElwain with a nice soft pass from McDermott. Moved in all by his lonesome. But Chevrier able to shut the door as we go down to 5 minutes left in this one.
That's pretty well been the story tonight. The Jets getting a lot of good chances with odd man breaks, and the Blackhawks with very few chances the entire game.
Now Bob Murray shoots it in. Olesen couldn't get it out. Creighton on the far side. Flipped it to the slot, but nobody home for Chicago. And Pazlowski overskating at center ice. Back in his own end, Elliott. Long right wing pass taken by Pazlowski over the line. Then Yanni took it away from him. He gave it to Creighton. For Thomas at center, who shoots it in. 4 minutes left. The Jet, Dave Elliott, comes to the Hawk line. And the Jets, Donnelly offside on the play. 4 minutes to go. 7-3 Winnipeg.
Blackhawks looking for a miracle. 3:50 to go, down by 4 goals. They scored 4 goals in a minute 56 seconds earlier this year against Toronto. And that's the type of thing they're looking for here in the last 3.5 to go in the third period.
Winnipeg, though, has been much more solid than that defensively. It'll take a real lapse from the Jets to allow something like that to happen. I've been impressed with this Jet team. Here's Graham with a long wrist shot. Easy save for Asensa, and most of his saves would qualify with that same description. Relatively easy.
Not very many good scoring chances the entire game. Asensa there got the body in front of that easy shot and left no rebound, and he's been slowing the pace down, a lot of times freezing the puck when it's near. He has not been tested that often in a Jet game. Graham letting a wrist shot go 40 feet out. Asensa down, body in front of him.
The rookie Asensa closing in on his 11th win of the year. He's going to be 11-6-3 after that. He'll have 11 of the 25 Jet victories. as Winnipeg comes in offside.
Blackhawks only had 6 shots on goal coming into the period. Hawks coming into the period only won 3 times when trailing after 2 periods. And certainly didn't get much momentum. 14 seconds into the period, Vasilevsky scored from Ashton and Olofsson, and that really did the Blackhawks in. It was the goal that really killed them, the opportunity for them to come from behind.
Lots of other action around the NHL today and tonight.
Boston beat Quebec 3-2. Edmonton in overtime beat Washington. Minnesota just lost to the Rangers. A tough weekend for the North Stars against Patrick Division teams. They lost in overtime to Philadelphia yesterday, and they lose to the Rangers, who haven't lost in 10. So they keep pace with the Islanders. Montreal, another shutout, 2-0. Islanders shut out Buffalo 1-0, and New Jersey, Vancouver, no score in the first.
Now Steve Conroy tees up a long one, fires it in, a sense off the end-board, gloves it casually and hangs on. Meanwhile, how about just the other night when we saw the LA Kings? I thought they were going the wrong way, and it appeared that the Calgary Flames were getting their ship pointed in the right direction. Calgary was last night a 3-1 lead heading into the third and failed to hold it against the LA Kings.
It was a big win for the Los Angeles Kings. It's got to give their confidence a big boost. They've been struggling, only a couple of wins in their last 13 games going into last night's action. Meanwhile, Ascent says he's done all night long on that shot from behind the boards, just gloved it and held on. Must be a good school, Michigan State. He seems to be pretty smart, pretty cool. What happened to you?
Well, they've got at least one good product.
How about your Spartans and knocking off the Boilermakers?
Big win for the Spartans yesterday. And last I heard, the MSU hockey team again in great form. I ranked, I think, #1 in the country, and they've been just terrific the last few years under Ron Mason. Here come the Jets 2-on-1 again. Vasilevsky centered it, and now he shoots one. Then he shot it wide. His first pass hit Yanni, came right back to him, and then he shot one right through the goal crease. Bob Murray shoots it in the other way. Vasilevsky out to center ice with 2 minutes left in this game. Now Bill Sykes got knocked down. Wilson tied up. The puck hops over the boards into the Jet bench. So the face-off will be in the neutral zone.
Wilson, who's got that curly hair. He didn't have curly hair till he moved to Winnipeg. He had straight hair till he moved to Winnipeg. I guess the thought of having to spend the winters here, the hair tighten up and curl up.
Now the Jets, Ashton got it into the Hawk zone. Conroy has to hurry. Got it to Manson. Dave Manson put it to Roenick at center, and he'll shoot it in. Bounce right into the slot, taken by Roenick. Couldn't find the handle, however, and out comes Ashton. He cleared it to center ice. Now Dave Ellett will flip it in there. Taken by Sutter. Wayne Sutter shot it into the Jet zone. And we're down to the last minute of this game. Here's a Sutter steal. He cuts in shooting, and it's saved by Asensa. And he gets the carom finally and covers it up to draw the whistle.
He made that glove save on Sutter's shot with Hudson cutting in front of him, so good concentration shown by the rookie netminder. Sutter coming off a great game against the Los Angeles Kings, where he had a goal and assist. Steals it with 2 Jet players colliding at the blue line, and the wrist shot glove juggled. Puck trickled back to the side of the net in a sense, as he's done all night long. It's just every opportunity he's frozen the puck. That shot by Sutter, only the 7th shot on goal, only the 24th of the game by the Blackhawks. best save that Sense had to make was on Jeremy Roenick in the second period. And the feed from Thomas, he just kicked to his left, and that was his best save.
Randy Carlyle in his 997th game.
Scored his 600th career point, an 8-1 win Friday night against Vancouver. Well, it's been a tough year for him.
Sure has. Here comes Presley, meanwhile, cutting right up the slot. Never got off a shot. That's the night it's been for the Hawks. When they've had a few chances, they've been unable to locate the bouncing puck. Presley there looked to have it in control, but as he moved right between the rings, it snuck away from him, and he couldn't get the shot on goal. 20 seconds left. Here's Presley trying to muscle his way in front. Still hacking away at it, and had it taken away finally by Boschman. The Jets clear, and Winnipeg has won their 25th game of the year. They're 3 over 500.